And even though I could choke people out very quick, a lot of times it wasn't quick enough and they would pull me apart. So I always admire good hand skills, good leg kicks, and I always thought, like, because when I learned Jiu-Jitsu, even though, like, you see, the sport of Jiu-Jitsu grew very fast. So everybody embraced that as a way of fighting, as a way of life, and they didn't want to not even see how to take someone down, how to be efficient in takedowns. I learned, when I learned Jiu-Jitsu, that my grandfather always, like, we're sitting to have breakfast on the table, he would go, Jiu-Jitsu is everything. You have to know how to punch, you have to know how to take the guy down, you have to know to fight from your back, from any situation, inside an elevator, you have to be able to adapt yourself to any situation. And I do believe this sport, it's the evolution of. If you realize that the traditional Jiu-Jitsu guys start, before was a completely domination, it was like a joke. To be honest, like on the first UFCs, it was like beating a drunk person in a bar, you know? And you didn't have nothing to drink, he drank by himself. But as they getting better, and right away you start feeling the necessity of improving, of being able to, like you're gonna fight a tough wrestler, you can just walk in and shoot on his legs to take him down. You have to punch, work him to distract him so you can pull the legs from underneath him. So in reality, what we see today is the evolution. And you have to understand, the world is constantly moving forward. If you don't adapt yourself, you're gonna stay behind. You know, so, but when you ask, if we think, oh, it gotta be only Jiu-Jitsu, I don't think so. And if you realize Jiu-Jitsu is a very, very important part of this style of fighting. If it wasn't, I don't think I would have George St. Pierre for 15 days in my school, now training, and after he finished his fight, the first thing he did was to grab us, to go in the backstage and show me what I did wrong, why I didn't finish it. And it was a very simple question. When he was doing the Kimura lock, instead of being at 12 o'clock, he should have been at 9 o'clock. Like his lower body should have been here. That will give him the leverage to actually get the guy's arm to break. So things like that, I know next time he will make the mistake. You know, I had Rashad Evans training with us for 10 days, and I think it complements anybody's game. And especially now, people are going to look for Jiu-Jitsu more, because this is what is going to make the difference. Everybody now is good on strikes, and everybody's good on takedowns. But to win the fight, you're going to need Jiu-Jitsu. You know, so it's a very important, I do believe it's the backbone of it's what makes the difference, you know, of a great fighter from a regular or ordinary fighter.
You and Matt Hughes, obviously two legends of the sport, and Matt Serra said, and he's right, that you and Royce are very different fighters. Very different approach. You're more aggressive, you like to use the hands. And Matt talked about that when we did the Q&A. But the fact of the matter is that you're still a Gracie, and there's a ton of pride, and he got Royce. So in addition to yourself and your quest for success, I have to imagine there's a little bit of Gracie revenge that has to exist, doesn't it?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
See, it's like my little brother. My little brother pisses me off, I hit him. Somebody else hit him, I charge on him.
Right.
You know, it's like I said to Royce, I can badmouth you as much as I want because I love you. And you can talk bad about me too. You know, I won't be insulted. But somebody else does, that really makes me angry. And I'm hungry now. I actually want to pay back Hughes for what he did. You know, I remember like Royce called me. I was in LA, but I had some meetings and some stuff I couldn't make to the event. So I pulled over in a sports bar in the street, walk in, ask for a Diet Coke, and actually it was a Bud Light. Coors Light gets you sick. You guys know that, right? Ask Brock Lesnar.
And you wonder why he's in the UFC.
You know, and I remember I had such a knot in my throat after I watched that fight. I couldn't eat. Like the food was in front of me. I couldn't smile for the rest of the day. And the next day, my wife tried to talk to me, and I just ground. Like, you know, I thought that was a very important moment, and I really believe that Royce should have been better prepared, you know. But a lot of times, people let themselves be carried by the success that they achieve, by the things that they achieve, you know. That's why when I told you, like, in my head, all that I need is a mat and a gi to serve as a pillow. Because I don't care for nothing around me, you know. Like, people come to me and say, you're the best in the world. I go, I'm right here. You know, like I don't register that because I do believe that the moment that you start believing on this, you start fading. You start thinking that you're better than anybody else. And I told Royce, I said, Royce, if you're going to take this fight, you have to set up a camp. I was with him in Florida. I said, we have to set up a camp. We have to be together. We have to get guys who push him. He goes to train with some guys who give him a little trouble. They cut the guy from the training session. You know, like, so he doesn't have guys to demand from him, to push him. And on top of that, for 2 years, he was booked to do seminars from Friday to Sunday. Every weekend for 2 years in a row. And he signs to fight Matt Hughes. It's like, I could never do that because it would be an insult to my opponent. It was like when I was fighting Miletich, I was in the locker room and I had guys to coach my team at the IFL back then. When I look on the TV, Miletich is on the corner of someone before fighting me. I was so pissed. Because it's like, oh, it's going to be easy. I'm in the corner here telling someone what to do. It's a lack of respect, and I grew up with that a lot. Like we never, you see, like people say, oh, even your enemies like you. They do, because if I can help them, I will. You know, I'm never standing in the way of pushing someone forward. You know, but if I have to fight him, I'll fight him like this. I don't care. But at the same time, I'm not here to stop his growth. To block him from training somewhere, to go somewhere, to appear on a TV, to sign in a fight deal. Actually, this week I went to an old enemy of mine and I went to Dana and offer because the guy is tight with money. He don't have been fighting for a while. So I went to Dana and asked Dana, give this guy a chance. He may be a good fighter back to the UFC. It's an old champion that you guys probably going to see back soon, you know? And even though we are from completely different branches, and I'm going to read for you guys I'm going to read the text that he actually said. I hope he did it in English so I don't have to translate this. Go ahead. Get it? Say something.
Well, what he said, he said.
What did he say? I never shut up.
Oh, there he